Welcome to this very brief presentation on MEAH and chronic pain. So, to introduce you to the MEAH, we've got the very basic aspects of the model. I'm not considering other aspects of it here or the more extended version or how it links to different levels of hope and things like that or narratives. It's just the five questions. And the five questions are this, and I want you to think about this right now. What challenges are you facing right now, or what's the most significant challenge you're facing right now? And can you think about that? Okay. Well, with that in mind, we've got four other questions to think about. How hopeful are you that you can change it? To what extent do you accept it? Do you not accept it or fully accept it? How much energy do you have to deal with it? And how do you feel about it in terms of negatively and very unpleasantly or positively? And the thing to note about these five questions is one, we're getting a relative response to what a situation and a challenge. So what you experience and what someone else experiences could be different. So we need you to think about that and name it for you. And then secondly, we've got four following questions which provide essentially two maps which can be combined together to create the mirror. The first one is a hope and adaptation scale, so that's a map in itself, and the second is a circumplex model of effect, which is a great way to consider different mood experiences. So as we think about the mirror, we can think about them as a map. So if we pop the Hogan adaptation scale with the circumplex model effect together, we get what I'd refer to as an embodied response to pain. So this is really important because that means that we can potentially map the experiences that people are going through. But also what's really important with the work is once we start using it as a therapeutic tool, we use some of these things as questions for people, is you can create changes in that map. Or further to this, that map can change by observing others and how they respond or what they're doing. So, and finally, that we're not getting stuck on keywords of adjustment or um, keywords that can often reflect where people are, like I've accepted this or that. We're going a bit beyond that to think about these other components, how we look forward, and what that means, if we look back and what that means. So there's a lot in here, and I think this quick presentation is to just consider some of those things and why it's so important in chronic pain. So if we think about one of the maps here around emotions, the circumplex model effect at the top there, you can see on the right, but also within that, you can see that particular emotions are prominent. Okay, so if we put that onto the mirror in the next image down, that's mapping a certain location in a quadrant of this model that's sort of representing an embodied experience. I think what's important about chronic pain is that we're getting particular primary responses or emotional responses, including anxiety, depression, fear, sadness, perhaps, aversion, and then also cognitive dysfunction. And that contrasts to the experience of positive emotions and what that can mean and the benefit of that, which you can see in the last bullet point there. So this is really important for me because I think actually we need to start thinking in these terms. If you want to see if something's helping you, we can start mapping it in these terms, and I think that's really important. The other thing to note is with these experiences, predominantly negative experiences, they can result in negative feedback loops where we maintain and amplify pain over time. So there's, in my view, some sort of trap here, or a limited map if we think about the MEAH. So let's think about acceptance and hope, the other scale on the MEAH, and why that's so important. Well, acceptance has been proposed as a mediator, as a mechanism of change, positive change in physical function. So that's really important. Whereas avoidance is linked to negative mood and disability. Again, this embodied experience, this psycho-emotional experience, it seems to be very apparent in chronic pain, and something that's going to be continually changing. It can be unpredictable, it can be unknown. So this could explain the link between these different concepts. So acceptance leads to reduced negative physiological responses to pain, which is really important. And hope has a positive impact on patients who experience chronic pain. So we've got this emotions that are primarily negative, and what they do in this trap, and we know that the positive emotions will likely do something better, and at the same time we've got this acceptance and hope, which again interact with pain in a particular way. So interventions that can change these different elements would be really valuable. But also capturing the pain experience as a map would also be valuable. So if we bring it together as a mere map, as think about those five questions at the start, we can think actually that people probably placed in certain locations on here, they could be trapped in here, and that's the danger. So when we think about chronic pain as a danger, real danger, I think that there's a limited response. I don't believe in a right or wrong way to sort of to map. I don't believe in a limited way to map. I just think what's important is we understand that the experience of pain needs to be mapped and that it's psychological, cognitive, and emotional at the same time. And as I look forward, that's some of the work I want to be doing. The last point here is to say that the initial work that I've done suggests even using the MEAH as a conversational prompt for different groups of people, maybe going under stress or with chronic conditions, we've seen changes, good, positive changes, mood, and with the other axes. So I think there's real value in this for this particular group, and I'd really encourage the clinicians or even patients to think about their experiences and how and if this can be used. If you want to know a little bit more, got the book that you can get right there, and we've got some final references at the end. I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you.